That's not offensive, right? Or it's not offensive?
I think it's fine.
Okay. Hi, my name's Leo, and you're watching Game of Thrones. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experiences in Harajuku. Harajuku is very popular for its kawaii art, as well as the bright colors and the cosplay characters that you'll see. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you have some sort of interest in Japan, but on the off chance you haven't heard before, kawaii is essentially Japan's way of saying cute. So when we talk about kawaii fashion, we're talking about generally very cute colors, very cute fabrics and designs that often you'll see girls wearing, especially in Harajuku. For myself and my family, we really love Harajuku because that is where Kiari Pamipamu, J-pop star, was found. We had the pleasure of going to go see her in one of her concerts in San Francisco last year, and that just helped further our reasons for going to Japan. We arrived to Harajuku after walking from Shibuya. Wouldn't recommend doing that, but if you choose to, it is a pretty walk. So we arrived and immediately we headed towards the Tokyo Plaza. We did travel with a kid, and with our 4-year-old, it was important she took naps throughout the day. So we were trying to find a spot that would be fairly quiet, but somewhere that she could rest. We had found that there was a Starbucks in the Tokyo Plaza, so that is where we decided to head. As we approached the plaza, you can see from the outside, and it's a very popular Instagrammable picture area because there's mirrors everywhere, including this picture where you can see me in the mirror dimension. Again, at the top of the plaza is Starbucks, and it was really pretty because Starbucks had a part of it that you could go outside and sit on a patio. It was they're high walls, so it's safe for kids, but you could also look out and see a lot of Tokyo in it. It was a very gorgeous garden-esque area. While Tatum napped, Sal and I explored the plaza a bit. We went throughout the floors. I think we were looking for a jacket for her at the time. And let me tell you now, all of the stores there are very expensive for eccentric looking clothing. Although those salespeople were very friendly, there was nothing really that we thought would be appropriate for our 4-year-old, so we didn't find anything there, but it was cool to see some of the different shops. I think they did have a Tommy Hilfiger, but besides that, none of the stores are American brands or something that many Americans would recognize. While in Harajuku, we did go to the Kawaii Monster Cafe. That's going to be a separate video from this because that's something that there's a lot of footage from, there's a lot of pictures, and it's something that I really want to talk about a bit more. Our intentions on going to the Kawaii Monster Cafe were to celebrate Tatum's birthday. She was 4, turning 5. It was a really wonderful experience that I want to just dedicate to a whole video, so hopefully down the road she can watch it and remember some of this. After our lunch at Kawaii Monster Cafe, we did walk down to Alice on Wednesday. I will say Alice on Wednesday, it's nearby Harajuku. I'm not sure if it's considered in that area or not, but it all kind of bleeds together. You can miss it. It's a very small building, kind of tucked away in an alley. Google Maps helped us get close to it because there's so many different little stores right there. You're just gonna have to pay attention, look around, or you can ask for help. There is a security guard who stands outside Alice on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure that's because they don't want to have any merchandise stolen, so that's also kind of a signifier. If you see a security guy standing outside a bluish building, that's likely Alice on Wednesday. Alice on Wednesday is composed of 3 floors. Once you go through the little doorway, and it is little, you had to crouch down to get through it, it opens up to the first floor, which is Alice and the White Rabbit theme. Each of the floors contains different merchandise, and I will say, of all the different areas maybe that we went with very specific themes to it while we were in Japan, this merchandise was the best deal in terms of what you're paying for and what you're walking away with. The first floor, again, it did focus primarily on Alice herself and the White Rabbit. This was a lot of treats. There was a lot of cookies and snacks, and they had a little drink me soda that was really good. This is a lot of your treats. So if you wanted to get some gifts for anyone that you know who's obsessed with Alice in Wonderland, this is a good place to start. Once you leave the first floor and you make your way up to the second, in the hallway on the staircase, you will see characters who are also featured in Alice in Wonderland. The second floor is dedicated solely to the Red Queen. They have a chair that's located in this room. Don't know if you should sit in it. I didn't, we didn't. I don't know if that is meant to be an Instagrammable place where you can sit down and take a picture. The whole room is red. It's very devoted to the Red Queen. Lots of jewelry, lots of little pins and items that you can put in your hair. Very, very gorgeous materials. The third and final floor is the Mad Hatter. This is where I purchased a stopwatch, and it was, I think, $20 for my stopwatch, but it was so well crafted. It was really cute, and again, I think that a lot of the products in Alice on Wednesday they're affordable for what you're buying. Here's a little bit of a challenge for you. If you go, try to find the mouse's home. Throughout the store, there's so many different small details, and it really was worth it to just walk around, take a look, take pictures. Even if you have no intentions on purchasing something, go see the store. It was worth it, and it's blowing up on social media too. So it's really something nice to look back and say, hey, I've been there. Besides having a small entryway, it's important, no, I keep saying important, besides how small it was to get through that doorway, which was intentional because it plays off of Alice in Wonderland, it's worth mentioning that many stores in Japan are designed small. Being a larger person living here in the United States, I'm used to very wide open spaces when I enter a store to purchase anything. That's not the case in Japan. Pretty much every single vendor and shop that we went to was very tight spaced. So be respectful of those around you, pay attention, don't just mindlessly walk around, and don't be on your phone while you walk around, but be mindful that others, if you're going up the stairs, there's likely people wanting to come down the stairs, and if you're standing in one spot for too long, or you're trying to take a picture and you're on the 15th attempt, seriously move on, because there's other people who are trying to experience the same thing. Whether it's in a store or on the train, take off your backpack. If you are carrying a bag or a purse and you have it behind you, take it off, put it in the front and hold it. That's something that's very American, and it's an eyesore to see while we were in Japan, is that whenever we were in these tight spaces, whether again it's a train, a restaurant, or a shop, Americans tend to leave our backpacks on, and we're not paying attention and we're moving and you can hit things, whereas it seemed very culturally appropriate that the Japanese, they took bags off and carried them in the front. So if you go to visit and you're taking a bag, which you're gonna likely need to do that, be mindful of your backpack. Have it in front of you and be mindful of the space around you to make sure that you are respecting other people. After finishing our time at Alice on Wednesday, we made our way to the famous alley or street of Harajuku. I want to say that this is something that was smaller in person than I thought I would see. I expected it, I guess, through social media and through my own reading and trying to learn about Harajuku. I expected it to be a much, again, wider, because maybe it's the American in me, but a wider area or a longer distance. But the street itself, it's not terribly long or wide. In fact, it's very, very crowded, and there's a lot to see there. So if you're going to walk through, I recommend maybe walking back and forth a couple times. That's what I ended up doing. We enjoyed this area so much that we actually came back to Harajuku our second to last night from leaving Japan. Of course, there were a lot of stores with clothing, there were a lot of stores with candy, anything kawaii that you can think of. It's very Lisa Frank. If you're accustomed to Lisa Frank's art, designs, and styles here in the United States, Harajuku is very Lisa Frank. You're getting unicorns, you're getting kind of monsters that are not scary looking, but they're cute, bears. Everything is just very designed to look friendly and cute and fun. We did try to see puppies while we were in Harajuku, one of the shops, and we had to go inside of a building and go up to the third floor. But one of the shops did have a Shiba Inu puppy area to where you could pay, I think it's like 800 yen to sit down and pet puppies for 30 minutes. We were not able to go in though because we had a 4-year-old and the age requirement is 6. I think that makes sense. Many kids are not the kindest to animals, so it makes perfect sense that they had an age restriction of 6-year-olds. But if that's something that you're going to do and you're traveling with kids, keep in mind if your kid's not 6, they can't do this. And if you're going to choose to say they're 6 when they're not, your kid better be very respectful to animals, and don't, if you know that your kid is aggressive, don't take them. Also in Harajuku, we tried snacks. I can't tell you how many YouTube videos we watched before taking our trip to figure out what snacks we were wanting to eat while we were in Japan. Each different area had, of course, videos made for 100 snacks to try here, etc. But some of the highlights for the things that we tried were Calbee French fries. They were so simple, but so yummy. We also tried cheese sticks, just a fried cheese stick. It sounds exactly like it is. I think it was mozzarella. They just slab mozzarella on a stick and they fry it up, but it was really good. Lastly, another Instagrammable moment, but it's a great snack to try, is the cotton candy at the Tati Candy Factory. There are a couple of these in Japan, so it's not just in Harajuku, but we did go to the one that was there. As as you can see in this picture that Tatum held it up, it was a massive amount of rainbow cotton candy. If you're traveling with more than just one person, it's great to get the snacks and just share it. There's so many different treats to try that, and it also gets really expensive if each person's always buying their own thing. So if you're going with more than one person, you buy a snack, share it with them, they buy a snack, share it with you. Works out great. There is a great Daiso store that's in Harajuku. If you're not familiar, Daiso is their version of Dollar Tree. I think it ends up being 150 yen, which is about $1.50 versus $1 or 100 yen. This is a wonderful place if you're going to bring back more souvenirs for people. I was going to bring back, it's not funny because I got fired. I laid off, but okay.
Dude, I would still include it. I think it's hilarious.
Okay. Prior to getting laid off, I decided while in Japan, I was going to bring back some of my employees and the people I worked with some treats from Japan. So I bought candies, I think Kit Kats. Japan has the best Kit Kats. Just that's a whole nother YouTube video that you can watch someone else will make, but there's so many different flavors of Kit Kats that are in Japan. But I brought back Kit Kats and chopsticks and all sorts of little trinkets, and it's really inexpensive. My daughter does dance, so we took her little dance friends. We made little bags of goodies for them too, and I think that we were able to buy little souvenirs and trinkets for, seriously, with my work included, it must have been close to 40 to 50 people, relatively cheap. I may be saying it wrong, but I believe Bic Camera is another store that was right by Daiso. That's typically an electronics store, but I think the one in Harajuku ended up being more of a sort of Walgreens, CVS styled store. If you're wanting to hit up electronics, then in a future video I talk about with Akihabara, that Bic Camera was on point. It was amazing. Also, while you're there, look at all the different characters who are around. There's some who are in costumes that are just dancing. They'll greet you. But just like anywhere, there are also going to be vendors who are trying to get your attention just so you can buy something. So my rule of thumb when I'm traveling around is if anyone hands you something, don't take it, unless you plan to give them money. Below the Tati Candy Factory was a shaved ice shop, and beside that, on the ground level, was an Instagrammable spot where I took a picture here, and it's just a bunch of rainbow and lights, and I fit perfectly fine. There's a lot of space there, and it was a really fun place to just take some pictures. We ended up all taking our own pictures there before we head out from Harajuku. Again, we love that area a lot. We ended up going back more than once. And in future trips to Japan, that's somewhere that I know I want to go back and visit again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch something I created. I do greatly appreciate it. If you're not already, please subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Don't dislike it if you didn't like it. Just go watch a different video like that. And you have a wonderful day. I'll have a new video up next week on Tuesday. Take care. Bye. It's kind of sad making them.
Why?
Because, yeah. It's almost like when I write stories, like it's like, oh, that's done.